Welcome to Intro to Business One-on-One. This is our first episode. I have with us today a very special guest, Nekisha and I from Ladybug Concepts. And we are doing this one-on-one series as an introduction to business for creatives and startups to kind of hear from other business owners and entrepreneurs, their experiences, their struggles.
It's a long road.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier, and you have so much knowledge and information and experience in the industry.
Yeah, 15 years.
Yeah, in arts and entertainment, right? The creative arts and entertainment circuit. So I'm really excited to have you as one of our first guests because of the wealth of information that you would have compiled over the years.
I'm excited too. I'll probably never do this again only because it's you I'm doing this.
Yeah, I don't know why you haven't done it. I was telling
I've not done interviews. I'm not a front camera person.
Right.
If you want to find me, ask who's the person organizing everything behind the scenes and you'll find me. But you'll very rarely find me in front of camera.
I was like that at the point too, but then I realized it's the people behind the scenes with the most amount of value to bring to the table. Correct. Yeah. One of the reasons, especially, we would have connected recently would have been Ladybug Concepts.
Yeah.
Is providing a vast array of services.
With the introduction of COVID.
Yes.
I have kind of switched up a little bit and put a little bit more emphasis on things that are more necessary now than before.
Yeah.
So I'm really focusing now on the business aspect of actually going through the statutory bodies to do your registrations and just putting your businesses in place. I mean, creatives are creatives. That's what they do. They create.
Yeah.
It's difficult for a creative to handle the business, and we see a finished product. A lot of people, unless you're in that creative industry, you have no idea what goes behind putting on that final product. And a big percentage of that final product is the business part of it. You could do the most and make $1 million. But if your business not together, you did not make $1 million.
Exactly. And there are a few of us, right, who have both sides of the spectrum.
Yes,
in terms of the creative as well as the administrator.
Correct.
So we in a unique space. Or a niche to understand where they're coming from.
Which is why it helps and benefits me or my clients or people who come to me for advice. My trial and errors are what is what is facilitating my knowledge to give to somebody else. My house burned down a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was a carnival. When I say carnival, it was a Marshall Monday. The outcome of that has led me by choice, not by choice. I had no choice but to set up certain things in same regards to my business registration. I had to go rebuild my house. How am I rebuilding my house if I don't have money in my account? But I didn't think I need to put money in my account because hey, I'm making money, so why it need to go? Had I not gone through that experience, I would not be able to tell you that if you don't put money in your account, you don't make money. Correct. So I had to go through the procedures with the banks and insurance and listen, this is what you need to do this. I was not taught that. You are not taught that in POB, in POA, in MOB, in college. There's no course that you could go through that will teach you that if your money does not hit the account, you don't earn an income.
Yeah.
I'm not just entertainment. I was more into culture in my younger days. So I sang at Marionette's Chorale for years. I played Pan with Invaders for years.
Yeah.
I sang Calypso with Ed Jack sometimes for years. So I dabbled into a little bit of the cultural part of it, and as I got older it blossomed into a little bit more streamway into soca and parties and artists. I was very good with marketing growing up, and in my late teenage years into early adolescence I used to frequent, this is where it started, Woodford Cafe,
right,
with Benny Haytam. So my love for partying, liming that we like to call it, was also allowed me to grow it into a business,
right,
because of being around certain artists and what we would have called big guns in the business. I was able to network, and I always learn. So from the time I started to go for a little bit more frequent, as much as I was liming, I was learning. I used to stay quiet and observe, and that's how you learn. You have to see, you watch how people act, how they operate. You kind of look at it from all points of view. From being at Woodford, Benny asked me, why are you not on my committee? And I go, I don't know, but I go in for a drink. And he goes, well, let's go for a drink. And before I left that night, I was on the committee.
Yeah.
And that relationship grew into 60 to 70%, could be more what I am now and what I
Right.
do now.
Yeah.
Benny is dabbled and he was into the industry way before. So from a DJ background, entertainment perspective, and his business perspective of Woodford, he kind of combined the two. So his love for the restaurant business and the entertainment industry. He gave a platform to artists, old, new, young, wherever, to perform live on a Tuesday, because the country at that time, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And it was a random Tuesday. People thought, oh, Tuesday,
What you gonna do on a
nobody's
Tuesday?
coming
Yeah.
out on a Tuesday. I work on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And to his surprise, I was not on board at that time. But it wasn't too long before you could not fit into Woodford Cafe on a Tuesday night.
Right.
If you came at the wrong time, you just got stuck outside.
Yeah, and I was telling you for years when I was in UE, that was the thing.
place
Every
to
Tuesday
go.
night it was Woodford Cafe.
Because
Artists
the
performing, there's a
artists
lime, it's a
performing,
nice
the linemen
vibe.
have drink specials.
Yeah.
Everybody just like, and you swear it's Friday night. You swear we would try to close at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we are playing the official go home song, and
People
nobody's
refuse to
leaving.
leave. Yeah. When you started to work with Woodford Cafe in the beginning
Yeah.
stages, what for you would have been the connect to say, okay, yeah, this is something? Because I mean, he could have asked and you could have said,
No.
nah, real good. But what made you want to actually invest in your time and energy into it?
I like organizing. That's very weird. I love administrative stuff. Like
Yeah.
my friends call me Excel Queen for a reason. I love the advertising. I'm really good at it because I think growing up, with my mother especially, she was super organized. Like people
Yeah.
think I have a OCD. Maybe I do, but in organization and in school, I like to lay things out, have lists together. So I was really good at the administrative part of it, and a lot of the committee I added to the structure that was there already. When he engaged me to be on the committee, I slowly started to get a little bit more and more responsibilities. So I would have started off with something as simple as the list at Woodford. Now, committee members were allowed to get 5 people per committee member on the list. There's only so many people could fit inside
Yeah.
there. And when we have names like Bunchy Garland, Faye Lyons, Marshall Montano, Casty Band, that's like those names come into it. Everybody wants to be there. I used to have the daunting task of kind of slimming down this, because we would get lists and one person could send 5 names and then one person will send 35 names.
Yeah.
What do you do? So I had that task of making sure the list was on time, and then in addition to that, I started to see about the artists. So make sure they had their drink, their food.
Oh, so all this was
their-
you alone, or you had like a group of people?
As it got busier, we would have gotten door staff. At a point
Yeah.
in time, I couldn't be at the door.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Being at the door was a no-no. So now that I don't really have that responsibility of the door, I moved on to seeing about the artists inside.
Right,
So
behind
we'll
the
meet them.
scenes.
Right.
Right, yeah.
The behind the scenes stuff. Some of those artists that I had then that I didn't even know are literally, and I say this really personally, are some of my best friends now.
Right.
Lyrical, when I met him, I didn't know who he was. Now that's my dog.
Yeah.
That's my real good friend.
Yeah.
A lot of the artists, blacks I knew from prior to Woodford, because again with the culture stuff, Bungie, Fan, a lot of the artists, Dastra, Lil Bit, Patrice Roberts,
Yeah.
Cass, Ricardo, Drew, they're all personal friends now, and we build that relationship. Because outside of Woodford, I used to help Benny as well with the events during
Right.
the carnival season.
Right. And he had some core
He
big
had
events
some
happening
core
back
big
then.
events. Mania at the point in time was huge. Carnival Sunday, that was the only fete to be at, because we used to have the top of top at that event. So I did stage management there. Different events with different responsibilities.
Right.
It's dwindled now, but the exposure from that is how
like 'cause
I...
you saying that, and I can imagine the level of experience you would
yeah.
have gotten from so
So-
many different skill set areas.
Correct. So it's just being there, and you need to want to do it. You have to have that drive and that passion for it, because
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It could drop down from tiredness.
And so, I mean, on that note, too, I want to talk about, because you just mentioned a very important person in your life who would have helped framed a lot of who you became.
Yeah.
And that touches on an area in business, I think, that people need a lot of guidance on, which is align yourself with
Correct.
the right person or
Person.
the right entity to blossom the skill sets that you have,
Correct.
inherently in you. For me, there's a step right before you get into the business registration part of it, right? Which is one, talking to people to get advice and guidance on what the whole process would even entail. But
Right.
two, and this is something that I started doing on a very selective basis, like one-on-one coaching, right? And it's
Correct.
preparation and research. So it's that
Correct.
part of personal development that helps you helps guide you to decide, okay, what do I like? What do I want to do? How can I see this going? So like the millennials, for instance, on Instagram, to plant a seed of there's a business idea here. Let's see how we could structure this, make a plan around it. So that when you go to that stage of business registration, you already have a fair sense of, okay, I want to start as a sole trader.
Right.
I can do this because I can see this developing like this over the next few years. And you can go with that information. They could guide you even better. Yeah, for sure.
Google is everybody's friend. Research, read. If there's somebody, you ask them a question and they don't answer you, that's okay.
Yeah, but I have a little reservation with like maybe it's the rejection part of it where you message somebody and they don't respond and they take you on.
I that fuels me. That if you don't do something, like if I ask you something and you don't answer me, maybe it's me, it motivates me to get that answer. Right. Even if I don't get it from you. Yeah. Because guess what? When I get the answer and it works in my favor, most times, I will say 80% of the times, the person that advises you or gives you the answer may be the person that helps you grow your business, or that question that you want answered will help you in the long run. And guess what? Because you didn't answer me, then you don't get my money. Somebody else who answered me will. Yeah. And you're gonna look at it, it's not always about money, but never see a rejection as a failure. See a rejection as somebody who is not supposed to be in your circle. Right. Everybody is not made for everybody. If it is you are rejected, don't look at it as a negative. I'm pretty much convinced there is somebody who's willing to help you. If you tell me from the get-go, this is how it's done, this is not how you do it, you will learn so much over the years. Pass it along to the ones that could take up the mantle. I can't stress how important networking is. There was a point in time I did not feel like going anywhere. Right. Because I was just tired of going. And then I realized, Nekisha, you cannot not go. This is how you maintain your network. So that is how I got people reaching out to me. Oh, I saw you here. Do you do this? What do you do? What I suggest and I kind of advise creatives to do is keep going out with like-minded people. Right. You're going out, but go out with a purpose. If you go to a bar for a purpose. Make sure at the end of the night, you accomplish something. You met somebody new. Yeah. You met somebody in the industry. You met somebody who could do your accounts. You met somebody who could market you. You meet somebody who would want to engage your services in the future. You hand out a card. Another
thing I found useful as well in networking situations, especially in the exchanging of cards, because sometimes those things get lost, right? Or it's cumbersome. So I've also found it very useful in those instances to, as soon as, is either when I'm on spot with them, I look for them on Instagram or Facebook and follow them one time, or as soon as I get home, I do the same thing.
So back in our younger days, cards were just the thing. Now, I actually encourage them, when you have them in front of you, get their number, store their number, get their socials,
WhatsApp them one time,
message them on WhatsApp one time, send them a DM one time, and make sure you create that link instantly so you could use it in the future. Because like you say, cards get lost, but if you have already made the link at that present time, then you can now refer to that link and say, hey, I think I messaged them, let me go check and see if I find them in my phone. Technology, you press 1 or 2 letters and it pops up and, hey, look, I found the guy I was talking to a month ago. So it works. So you always want to make sure that you align yourself with people who could benefit your business. I mean, yes, go out for fun, but get some kind of positive
purpose.
To going out.
You were telling me that you have a degree in business.
My first degree is in business, and my second degree is in business administration with a concentration in marketing.
So did you always know from, I guess, as a child or coming out of secondary school that this was something in the vein of that you wanted to get into?
I never thought it would have led me to fully be in the entertainment industry. It just coincided with my love for music and partying, and I just was able to combine the two. I found a niche where, hey, those business people not really around the artists, and hey, after my 8 to 4 jobs, and what happened, and this is I never told this story, I got so heavy into the entertainment industry. Waking up to go to work 8 o'clock was getting harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, because it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I reached home 5, 6 sometimes. I would not sleep. I would reach home, bathe, change, and go to work. And I was on a contract. I was on a contract at that time, and my contract ended at 8 to 4. And I started to send out resumes and applications. And interviews came, interviews went, and I reached to the point that they were telling me, and I don't understand this, I was overqualified.
Right. Oh, hate that word.
Overqualified.
Yeah, that word. Oh,
So I got out overqualified for interviews. And I was having lunch with another, what I consider stalwart in the industry, Matthew Desant.
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew said to me, Nikesha, you are wasting your talent and skills. And I watch him and I go, what
do you
talent
mean?
and skills you talking about? He said, you don't run that Facebook page. You don't do this one Instagram. You don't do that. Put it on an invoice and sell it. And I sat down and I watched at him. What do he mean? Make it a business.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke to Benny about it. He said, Nikki, but you do all my stuff. Let me just pay you to do it.
Yeah.
And then I met with, this was a planned meeting. I bounced bungee up on the avenue, drinking Stabio Lyman. And he's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, looking for a job. He goes, why? Just turn what you do into a job.
Yeah.
And this was over a week and a half. And I said to myself,
There's so many people are telling you this.
People
Yeah.
who did not contact each other told me the same thing. Nikesha, figure it out. And that's how Ladybug started.
There are a lot of people, especially now during this time, there are people losing their jobs. They don't know what to do to make extra money, extra earnings.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to encourage people, like, you have so much
skills
potential.
and talent
Yes.
and potential. That's good advice. I've advised people that I don't even know.
Yeah.
Random people on Facebook. I see them posting pictures of bread. And I go, are you working? She's like, no, I got laid off.
Sell the
I'm
bread.
like, can you sell your bread?
Sell the bread. Yeah.
You can make some money. I would help you set up. And I really encourage people to be entrepreneurs and just tap into that little business spirit that they don't even know they have.
It's just, and it starts with the smallest skill, you know,
Smallest
the
thing.
smallest thing
And
that
the
you might be really good at or passionate about.
In this day and age, especially now in 2020, we need to have multiple streams of income.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I say tap into what you have and make that business around it. Go to people that can guide you along to help you set up your business, which goes back to what you were talking about in the beginning. Doing the right thing to set up your business, setting it up the right way.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the need for registering your business.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning stages, and I mentioned this in one of our videos earlier, that I just registered it because I thought that was what you had to do. Like, if you have a business, you just do that. But the follow-up and the administrative side of it out is where I would have fallen short.
So we get excited. Oh my gosh, I'm registering my business. I go to legal affairs. I do a name search. They say, okay, I pay the money. I register the business. I have a certificate and I rest it in a folder and I put it down. And I'm a business owner because I've registered my business. That's just 10% of registering your business.
Just the surface.
It's just the scrape, just the top. You have to follow up with the administrative part of it. Trust me, it will bite you in years to come.
And I can speak from experience. I don't know if you because you would have obviously probably done your research ahead of before you did the business part of it. But for me, I made so many mistakes.
And you learn along the way.
Yes,
but
very hard lessons, very expensive lessons.
And this is where I step in. I don't want my peers, and I call them peers because they were doing what I was doing at a point in time. I don't want them to learn the hard way, and learn the hard way costs you a lot of dollars.
Yes.
And
time and
we
energy.
need the dollars right now in our pockets, not in anybody else's pockets but ours.
Yeah.
So I try to set them up correctly where they can either see about it themselves or get someone to do it for them. But I try to show them from the beginning, listen, after you register your business, that's not the end.
Yeah.
Receipts, invoices, contracts,
Basic bookkeeping,
income, expenses. Dependent on the type of business you register, you'll be allowed to not pay so many taxes. I mean, filing your taxes, your BIR number, NIS, health surcharge.
It doesn't matter, even if you've been doing your little entrepreneurial thing on the side. You can't access a business loan or business grants without the proper paperwork to show that you're registered.
Don't get overwhelmed, and we tend to get overwhelmed when we see a list this long of things that we need to do to set something up.
Step by step, you take it
one at a time. It's really simple things that you need to set it up. It's going to be worth it in years to come. Please, I encourage everybody to register their business. If they are not sure, there's something called a sole trader. Start off there. You
Start
can
simple.
convert
Yes.
your sole trader to a limited liability.
Mm-hmm.
You may not think it's viable in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just started to make money. Now I have to go spend money to set up all of this. I mean, I'm not making any money for myself. You will come to realize, I learned this on the way as well.
Right.
Not everything is taught to you. I have 2 degrees. A lot of trial and errors. Me going through certain aspects in my life have taught me certain things that I was not taught in school. But it's very much applicable now. Once you register as a sole trader and your bookkeeping is pretty much on par, you could now expand if you want to do more, if you want to take on staff, if you want to grow your team, if you want to dive into another aspect of business. Once you have that groundwork done, it works in your favor. Because guess what? Sometimes you working from home like most sole traders do, and their business has grown exponentially. I now need to rent somewhere or buy a property to facilitate my services and my products or what I want to do. Guess what? If you don't have something showing that you've been receiving income, how you getting that facility to encourage your growth and to get you more successful than you are? I think that's a fear of a lot of people. Setting up businesses are expensive. It's not. It's like building a house. If you can't afford it, do a little bit every time. You don't have to do everything at once. In Trinidad, we think, oh my God, the government.
So let me tell you a story as well. There was someone who actually private messaged me in the last couple of weeks, and they said, I don't see the point in registering a business. If I have a normal job come in, so this little extra money I usually collect in cash anyway. Do I even need to like go through the whole process of registering an entire business to see about, to add to that? Not to mention the other very big concern that a lot of people have is in relation to the taxes, right?
Correct. And I reference in Trinidadians here because we live in Trinidad and Tobago, right? A lot of us are under the assumption that the government does not do much. So they're not going to pick up on if I put an extra few hundreds there.
Our financial system, it's set up a particular way, yes. But I think where we fall short is in the monitoring parts of things.
Correct.
Which it's like that now, but that there's no guarantee that it's going to ever stay like that. And at some point, especially now with COVID, and they're having so many leaks and areas that they need to tighten up on spending and budgets.
Correct.
They're going to find all the leaks and they're going to start closing up on those holes.
You may not think they know, but they know. Also charges. I mean, some of us don't like going to public institutions. They prefer go private. But let me tell you something. You get an accident. The closest hospital is where you're going. Would you not like to know that you have contributed to getting that service at that they saved your life? Simple. I mean, we take a lot of things for granted. Pension.
And we're still speaking from a very idealistic point of view, right? Like there's still a high dependence on the proper management of those funds that are collected through taxes, which is a whole other kind of bones, right?
Conversation by itself.
But the point is to encourage people either way, because when you get the right leadership in place to actually manage, if you travel, for instance, we went to Canada last year, and you could see the taxes working for you. Because the roads
Canada, listen,
it's clean. The roads are always being worked on.
Canada is a really perfect example of your tax dollars working for you. It is.
And funny enough, it seems like that's to us, but to the people there, they'll still be like, that's all right. They could be doing more.
Every couple of years, we hear there's an amnesty, and then everybody gets, do I need to file taxes? What do I need to do? Simple. But if your bookkeeping hasn't been done, it's going to be rough. So you try to get your bookkeeping at bay monthly. A lot of creatives now look at it as a side hustle. We need to get away from the side hustle mentality. We need to get away from it's just some extra money.
Cash on the side,
It's extra side money. It's extra this. It's not really what I do. I just doing it, to get some side money. Guys, that's a business. You need to treat yourself as a business. And with a business, you need a business account. And all this ties back to that same income making. If you don't put out $150,000 into your business account, the bank does not recognize that you are earning an income based on your side hustle,
which is important for when you need things like loans or when you need to grow your business
and loans and growing your business. If you are creative and you have income of $150,000 a month. I'm putting this out there. Just the energy. You got $150,000 a month.
Plenty money.
You got money. You got money. You don't know what to do with the money, and you decide, I'm gonna buy real food, real drinks, real sneakers, real clothes. I'm gonna buy something for my mother, my father, my brother, my sister. That's fine. You can do that. In 3 years, you decide, I'm making enough money. I could get a mortgage. I want to buy a house. You go to the bank. They say, I'm making $150,000 a month. I could afford a house. And the bank says to you,
Where's your proof?
Where's your proof? I see what you're saying, but that's not money for us. And you are wondering, what do you mean? I'm making $150,000. Guys, put it in your bank account.
Yeah.
If that money does not reach inside of your bank account, you did not make any money.
Yeah, it didn't exist as far as the bank is concerned. Yeah.
And let's go a step further. Do not put it in your personal account.
So let me ask, for instance, an artist, right? Who only has a personal account. And I'm talking more for like the small artists, not the big soca artists, the little small artists who have, how would you advise that they deal with that type of transaction? So they getting money for gigs or for little events that they're doing on the side.
Put it in their personal
they put it in
account.
the personal account. It's small, few $100s. So the bank is not going to pick up on it just so. But how would you advise they deal with things like that?
Okay, your creativeness, your ending product, your song, your woven basket, your necklace, your whatever you've done, your song, your perform, any of it, it's not yours. Treat yourself like a business. There's something called commingling. Google it. It's very easy to see when you are commingling. The cost of setting up a business account, I guarantee you, does not cross $1,000.
Right.
It doesn't cost that much. The requirements to set up a business account, basic. You need to register your business. You need to have a company stamp.
Right.
You need to get a few documents that are very inexpensive. You open your business account and boom, you're good.
And just to make a footnote there as well, there's two different processes. If it's a sole trader versus
a sole trader versus a limited liability
bank
company.
account.
Yeah.
But essentially the same steps required in terms of
steps required.
Yeah.
It just depends on your nature of work.
Yeah.
If you qualify for a sole trader, you go to the bank, you open a sole trader account. If you qualify for limited liability, if it's a partnership, if it's incorporated, or if it's profit, non-profit, there are different requirements, but they all have a few basic steps that are required.
Yeah.
Align yourself with someone who can guide you into how to go about setting up yourself. It's not as expensive as you think it is.
Yeah, no.
When you apply for your registration, don't stash your registration somewhere in a pile in a corner.
Nowhere to be found. Yeah.
And now that you need to find it, you can't find it.
Yeah.
Tip: scan everything you get. It helps.
Or take a picture and save
of
it. Yeah.
Save it. Get a file on your desktop, company files, and every single document you got, be it an invoice, a receipt, a contract,
your BIR letter,
your NIS, your health surcharge, your TD4s, your whatever document, start to scan it and save it. It's not all the time you want to go through 10 million folders to find one document. You want to start to have your things readily accessible. It's not going to cost you $1 million. Once you start the right way, it can cost you $1 million if you don't do what you're supposed to do. But if you start it the right way and you follow up on your business and you seek that interest, it's going to be fine for you. I mean, another thing we didn't touch on, and it's just as important, and you think, I mean, everybody has their personal view on this particular topic. I advise all creatives to get and dabble into it, even if it's at minimum. Insurance.
Yes, that is. Listen, there's a topic of finance that I want to delve into, and this is probably going to be multiple videos around this.
I can actually bring you an agent.
Yeah, insurance is so important, especially health insurance as sole traders.
Health insurance, super important. We are on the road, we are driving. Some madman breaks a light, bounce into the car, camera go flying, this go flying, and guess what? Your camera and your lighting and your equipment is your source of income. What are you going to do now that you don't have anything to work with, because all the components that gives you income is now at the side of a road mashed up? This is what you do. You take your insurance policy, you go to your insurance agent and say, hey, my stuff is not usable. It's mashed up. It's at the side of the road on the Uriah Butler Highway. Let's move on. What do we do? And the insurance agent looks at your policy and says, you know what? You are insured for X amount. Check me next week. You will get a check. Let's replace your equipment and get you back on stream to get in your income. If those not insured, you now have to go find money to buy all of this back.
And that's the thing, right? It touches on another area of business, which is your finance management, right? So when you get this amount of money coming in a month, which is another video that I definitely want to tap into and talk on, as a topic that's important.
I got a client last night to do that alone.
You see? So let me know if you guys want to see a podcast on that as well.
Budgeting.
Yeah, on how to budget your money. What are some of the key things you need to invest in just to make sure you can stay afloat, you can keep your business going if anything happens.
It's a lot of little, it's a circle and we have 7 slices of pie and each slice gonna make it or break it. And you want to make sure at all times you have a whole picture, because that's going to benefit you short term, long term, medium. It's going to benefit you in the long run.
I believe that even though you are creative and your strength is in creating, I don't think that should absolve you from being exposed to the other aspects of the other information related to the business side of you. You don't have to master it. Like you're probably not the best at maths or business or science or whatever.
But have a hand in it as well.
At least have the general knowledge, because somebody could come and provide you with this service and then they come and they rape you for what you have.
Correct. Again, the end product does not require you alone. You need a team, and it's very difficult to find that team that you can work with clearly and comfortably, and you have to trust your team. You have to trust people around you. So you really need to go through a little trial and error to find the team that works well with you. You also want the team that could add to your business and see about different aspects of your business that you are incapable of doing at the time, especially again with creatives. They know how to create. They may need to find somebody to run their administration, to do their invoices, their receipts, their payments, their contracts. There's so many different aspects to it that I can show you all the check stubs of people paying me. I can show you receipts from things I've bought. I can show you various business documents. I can show you the contract where they said they will pay me this amount every month. Contracts are super important. Disclaimers, NDAs. Releases, they're super important. You want to safeguard yourself. So if it is you think you need a business manager, you need an accountant, you need somebody to handle their business affairs, talk to them, put it in paper,
send an email. Something in writing.
Email is a contract, by the way. Send the email, let them recognize that they've agreed to these terms, and until you're able to do a full contract, email could suffice until you get a proper thing done. It's really important. Reason being, you don't want to work hard for your money and then that business manager or your road manager
and we hear enough stories about that. Being taken advantage of.
You'll think it's just a 10% and then they give you a list. Well, these are your expenses. This is what I had to pay for you. And because you are thinking, well, he or she's seen about that, you are not putting yourself into being aware of what your business, it is your business. You are hiring somebody to see about your business. You are the director, you are the CEO. You must know at all times what's going on with your business. So randomly check. Actually hit them I need to get $50,000 now. Please give me a check tomorrow. If they can't produce that, then that's a red flag. Why can't you produce it? What's going on? Ask them for statements. Ask them for updates. Let them send you something every 2 weeks. This is where we're at. Be involved in your business. You don't have to be the A+ student to do it, but be interested and have your people on your team on their toes. Let them know at all times. Listen, I can randomly ask you to provide me with documents,
and you need to be able to produce it.
From the time that team member, that employee, or that staff member, or anybody in your team can't produce it, that's a red flag to say, listen, what's going on? why aren't you able to produce this to me? And then you, as the CEO, director of your business, which is yourself, need to say, listen, do I need to remove this task from that person and hand it over to somebody who I trust? Do I need to, what do I need to do for be able to be comfortable?
Yes. And that is that you touched on a really good point. You see, comfortable, the people that you bring into your environment, especially your business environment,
correct,
to provide whatever service, if it's external, internal, it doesn't matter. Those people you have to be so open and comfortable with that if anything rubs you wrong, you should be able to have a very transparent conversation and be like, what's this about? And
correct. If you feel like we say, if you feel a type of way, take on that intuition. If you feel that, listen, I don't like how this going down. He can't answer too much.
I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. And you know what it is? I think it's you developing that confidence in your inner voice and your instinct to know the difference between fair and reality, right?
And like sometimes we don't want to recognize that it may be a negative that's happening. We want to believe in that
benefits of the doubt
so much and give them the benefits of the doubt that we know something wrong. But nah, he ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, nah, can't be
guys, it's money.
Your guts, follow it.
Take care of your business. Be involved. Let them. And this is a next little nugget side note. Let them think you know more than you think you know.
It's like, think about when you're going to buy a new car or something, right? Correct. You would interrogate the person about every aspect of that car to test their knowledge, to see how well they know it before you feel comfortable to even venture into the space of buying it. Correct. It's the same thing.
I mean, it may sound overwhelming. Let's not scare y'all. It's really just simple, putting the right things in place and using your network that you will be developing to be advised what the right things and what needs to be done.
Because you're behind the scenes and you're offering us very valuable service that the average creative does not even know where to begin to access. It's important to bring people like you to the forefront so that they can see, there are people providing this service.
I am very accessible. You will know I'm very accessible. Questions, I'm open to all questions. I help as much as I can. Actually, that's one of the reasons I started this business. I recently created a business starter package. It applies to people who just want to start a business. It applies to those who have a business and did not know that these are the steps that you need to take to properly start your business. So I have a business starter package. I'm doing right now. I have a lot of clients where I can register a company and just leave it at that. Or I can register a company and get you a bank account.
Right.
And then you could do your registration, your bank account, and a website. I created what I like to call a la carte package. You don't always need everything at once. So do a little at a time.
Based on what you can afford.
Correct. You come to me and say, Nikesha, I've saved X amount. Consulting. I have a lot of, and I call them my IG entrepreneurs. And I say that because they are what you call IG influencers now, but they all have their little business. So I have a couple of young ones who does nails, who doing makeup, the little businesses, and they are now reaching out to me and they call me auntie. I don't know why, because some of them are my friends' children.
Yes, millennials.
A lot, the young millennials. Auntie Nikki, I'm polishing nails now and I want to do this full time. What do I do? You know, so you want, again, those are the ones that need the guidance. I'm talking about 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. Guys, the minimum ID age is 18 to register your business. And I tell them, listen, this is what you do. Put it aside, save it. And when you turn 18, we'll register your business and set you up. You set up young people for a long-term goal and for the benefit their family. What we like to say, generational wealth. You want to pass it on to somebody. So simple things like that, it helps starting at an early age. Because I like to travel and I go to all the carnivals, and with what I do in Trinidad, I came up with a travel concierge.
I've heard of people providing that service.
I do the ticket, the costume, everything I do for Trinidad. So I book your flight, I book your hotel, I get you your costume, I get you your juvie package, I get you your tickets, I get you your transportation, your hair, your makeup.
What's a fully comprehensive
all
service?
You do is go. That's all you do. I have multiple streams of income, but they all fall under the same branch and umbrella. So when COVID happened, no traveling, you can't go to countries. So on my vacations, my cruises,
Oh, that
Disney,
happened to us. Yeah.
every plan that you had for this year, which is what another business I do, that stream of income is gone. So you realize, oh my gosh, everything is being depleted. The income that you have to live comfortably is now reduced, either small, medium, large, but it's reduced.
Yeah.
What do I do to make up?
Diversify. Yeah.
And
to survive.
diversify to make up that money that I'm now losing because of COVID. I don't admit it, but I'm an overachiever. So I've grown up trying to put my hand in a little bit of everything, and that benefits me now. I've been doing company registration for years.
Yeah.
I never focused on it, but guess what? I can
now
now
have to-
fall back on it because I see the need for it now. Creative people are under the impression that, and I'm not talking about creatives that new, I'm talking about creatives that in the business long time.
days, yeah.
That if I am a performer, that's all I need to do.
There was
And
a
what would work
songwriter
for
that I
you.
spoke to the other day, popular one, and he told me that same thing. He said, Patrice, all other songwriters out here, they just did the songwriting and they depending on that to be their sole form of income. And it becomes a dog world now in the industry, and you can see it
Correct.
happening, right? The way that the songwriters engage with the producers,
Precisely.
engage with the artists, and everybody kind of
Correct.
fights in for percentages. And he's like, I don't even go to Trinidad anymore because I realize the money I'm making from songwriting, I'm going to invest it here.
And if I could cook, and in the foreseeable future, I'm not going to be performing on a stage, but I could cook. Hey. Let's get that cooking vibes going and
Yeah.
get some food. This is a very trying time for creatives as well. When you're doing something for years and that's all you know to do, it's very difficult to have to go and change your structure of what you're accustomed
Of course,
doing.
especially if you're in this for decades. Yeah.
For years and years. What can I possibly do now? All I know is to run up on a stage and
That's ironic because I would think, as you get older in the industry, you would start putting these contingency
in
plans
place.
in place, knowing at some
So
point you have to retire, right?
it goes back up to setting up properly. Build your empire
Yeah.
one day at a time. Just
A
keep on
step-by-step
the road.
process. And guys, if
Yeah.
you want, any of the services that Nikesha provides, email
It's
marketing,
social media marketing, email marketing, calendar management, business registration, accounting, it's a lot. Just go to the website.
it's an all-encompassing
Everything is there.
service. But Nikesha, thank you so much for joining us
You're
on this,
welcome.
especially as our first guest. You will definitely be back. You have so much more. We have so much
So
more that we
much,
can discuss
yeah.
on these various topics. Like there are things related to business
Business.
registration, even the nitty-gritty of that, the finance, the
Financing,
administrative, the
yeah.
marketing,
It's a lot.
branding. It's so much legal.
Legal.
It
There's so
spans
many.
such a broad space, and I would
But
love
it's
to
good
have
to
you back
know,
to
yeah.
discuss some more things in detail.
We can, and I'll work with friends. If you are able, I should say, to provide the information that they always wanted to know.
Yeah.
That's a big help, a big pep in their step to go after what they need to do.
And I definitely want to continue this series with the one-on-one with business owners, with special guests who can speak to business topics and
Correct.
advise you guys, advise me, learn from us even,
yeah.
what are some of the things currently happening in our industries,
and don'ts.
the do's, the don'ts,
Yeah.
the tips, the tricks,
Tips,
the ways to
tricks.
triumph over some of the trials.
Correct. And I will try. You've now encouraged me to
Jump out yourself,
put out
girl.
a little more content.
Yeah, so give your social media information as well, because people will
Um,
definitely benefit from the information you
on
have.
Instagram, it's at Ladybug Concepts. On Facebook, Ladybug Concepts. And my website is www.ladybugconcepts.
How did you come up with the name?
Matthew Descent, he was encouraging me to start my business. I was looking to purchase a car or get a car. And he says, yeah, go buy. And this is Matthew. If you all know Matthew, this is how he talks. He said, yeah, just go buy one of them small red march and call yourself a Ladybug.
Oh,
It was
cute.
really random. That's how it happened.